Hello, friend. Thank you so much for listening to the program today. I'm evangelist Micah McCurry, the director of Bible Tracts Incorporated and the host of this long-time radio broadcast called Bible Tract Echoes. I so greatly appreciate your investment of time in being a part of our audience today, regardless of how you're listening, whether by the radio waves, maybe podcast after the fact, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, you name it. Regardless, we greatly appreciate the fact that you are part of our audience today. Now, I have a somewhat serious question for you today. You say, why are you starting out so very dreadfully serious? Well, I'd like to ask you this. Do you know why life and life itself is so very precious? I believe a large portion of that, of course, you could answer that it's because God gave us life. It's because the master and creator of the universe endued in us the breath of life, and you'd be absolutely correct. But I believe, on maybe a philosophical level, one of the reasons that life is so very dear is because you and I know that it does not last forever. Whether we go home, meaning to heaven by rapture, or by taking our last breath and stepping over into eternity, our life at some point is going to end. Of course, this has never been more apparent to me than having had the opportunity not long ago to sing and be a part of a funeral for someone at our home church. And though a very sad occurrence, the fact that I know that lady has stepped over now into a perfect body on the other side in heaven, it gives great joy, but still, the preciousness, the care that we should take in stewarding our life is readily apparent. That's why the theme today for the broadcast is this. Just today, here's the thought, just a little while to labor. We really don't have that much time here on earth. And we're going to look at the book of Nehemiah, chapter number 4, one particular verse in just a moment. But before we go any further, I have a song that I've chosen just for today. I'd like you to listen to it. It's performed by the great folks at BibleTruthMusic.com. The title, coincidentally, or not so coincidentally, is Just a Little While. Now, I hope you enjoy this. It's a good song. It's an upbeat song. But I'd like you to think about the thought. We don't have a whole long time here on earth. We should serve God with every moment that we have. So listen to this song now, Just a Little While.
Standing open, waiting for our entrance there. Some sweet day we're going over all the beauties there to share. Just a little while to stay here. Just a while to wait. Just a little while to wait. Always straight and narrow, just a little more of troubles is just a
I hope you enjoyed that song. It reminds me of a gospel tract. What gospel tract, you say? Well, I'd love to tell you about a gospel tract called Will You Live Forever? Now, this is a gospel tract that we've been printing here at Bible Tracts Incorporated for many years now, and we've recently redesigned the front cover. It's beautiful. It's just a great mix of colors, and our operations manager and lead designer, Austin Marriott, did a great job with it. I'd love for you to visit BibleTractsInc.org to get your very own copies today. The announcer at the conclusion of the broadcast will tell you a lot more about how you can get in touch with us and order your very own copies. Of course, you can go to that website and order a sample packet, BibleTractsInc.org. But that's a heavy question, isn't it? Will you live forever? The answer, of course, is yes. So that begs the next question. What comes in the hereafter? Well, this gospel tract, Will You Live Forever, does a great job of explaining that. I'd love for you to go to our website today and order your very own copy. Maybe you know someone that needs to confront that question, or maybe, just maybe, you need to confront that question for yourself. Maybe you have more questions about that and you'd like to get in contact with someone that would be willing to help you. Well, if I can put my hand up in the air and say I'd be willing to help, if I can answer any of your questions, you can text me at 309-316-7240, 309-316-7240. Now let's turn our attention to the book of Nehemiah, chapter number 4, and we're going to look at verse number 21. 4:21, of course, remember, the people of Israel, they're rebuilding the walls of Jerusalem, but they're under threat of imminent attack. So we look here, Nehemiah 4:21. So we labored in the work. What work was that? Well, it was building the walls. And half of them, meaning half of the workers, held the spears from the rising of the morning till the stars appeared. Now, it almost has a poetic idea to it, the beauty of this thought. We have these people laboring on the wall, using mortar, using these bricks, using the old rubble to rebuild these walls and doing a great work, but realize standing over their shoulder, right behind them, immediately at hand, are these brave men holding spears, these weapons of war. You say, why don't they put the spears down and get to work building the wall? They could build probably twice as fast. But someone had to provide a defense. Now, point out here and realize the time frame from the early morning to the appearing of the stars. And you say, that's a long time. Yes, it is. I don't know if you've ever stood in one place under the baking of the hot sun, doing what seems to be nothing. Well, they weren't just doing nothing. They were keeping their eyes peeled to the horizon. They were looking for the possibility of attack. Not long ago on this very program, I asked a question, do you have my back? And the response was so encouraging, and it's so amazing to hear from so many of you that do have our back here at Bible Tracts Incorporated. Many of you in a financial way, you care for our ministry, but many of you, all you have to provide, and we so appreciate it, is your prayers. If I had to choose between your money or a special time in prayer provided by you on behalf of our ministry, I'd pick prayer every time. And when I ask that question, do you have my back? This is kind of the idea that I had here. Think of these people working, toiling away under the hot sun, but keeping them safe. Right at their back are these armed men, armed to the teeth. But more than that, they were ready for anything that came their way. I'd like to point out that there is a specific time frame to this thing. And I'd like for you to realize in your life and in mine that we have a job to be done, and it needs to be done now. We have just a little while to labor, as that song says. And while I am, figuratively speaking here, building up the wall for the gospel's sake of putting out gospel tracts, and our staff here at BTI is putting gospel tracts around the world, 170 plus countries and dozens of languages. And to God be the glory, put 10 million gospel tracts in Pakistan this year, 10 million plus gospel tracts in Pakistan, and 250,000 in Trinidad and Tobago, and 160,000 in South Sudan, and multiple millions maybe in Mexico later on this year, and in Spanish-speaking countries, and in Brazil, and all of these things. We need some people that will stand at our back and pray and defend us. Why? Because I can assure you that the enemy doesn't like what we're doing, but we need you to defend us now. We need your help in the immediate. Why? Because there's just a little while to labor. There will come a time when all swords and spears get laid down, when the bricks and trowels and mortar all get pushed aside, and we enter heaven and see our Savior's face. But that time is not yet nigh. And until then, will you work with us? Will you defend us in prayer? Will you be a part of the ministry of Bible Tracts Incorporated? That's our prayer. Just a little while to labor. I can't tell you what it means to me that you are part of our listening audience today. Greatly appreciate you. I hope you'll join us the remainder of this week here on the Bible Tract Echoes radio broadcast. Have a great day for His glory. God bless.
Thank you for joining us today for Bible Tract Echoes, a ministry of Bible Tracts Incorporated. If you would like to receive a free sample packet of all of our tracts, you can contact us by calling 309-828-6888. That's 309-828-6888. Our mailing address is P.O. Box 188, Bloomington, Illinois, 61702. A faster way to contact us is to go to our website at BibleTractsInc.org. That's BibleTractsInc.org. There you will find more information about our ministry and details on how you can support Bible Tracts Incorporated. Thanks for listening, and may the Lord richly bless you as you serve Him.